get transported away to another plane of existence. At least that's the way it is for me. Debashish has been on the stage before, and it's just such a treat to see you again. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody, welcome to Sama. Hi everybody, welcome to KEXP, welcome to WOPOP. I'm Darek Mazzone, thank you for being here. We're at the Vancouver Folk Music Festival, back after the pandemic. The pandemic is still going on, my dear people. Please wear a mask. We're not out of this yet, but right now I get a chance to hear and see one of my favorite musicians of all time, Debashish Bhattacharya. He just played a stunning performance. And it's nice to have him back. Debashish, thanks for being here.
Namaste.
How is life? How have you been?
Life has been really whirlpool, but I managed to do something in the whirlpool. Before the pandemic, I had many shows booked, and those during the pandemic has all gone. It was really quite disaster for any performing musician like us, who from age of 14 never did anything to survive than playing music or composing music. But hey, I thought about, well, I'm still alive, let me use my time in other ways. So I invented an instrument called Pushpa Veena.
So what is that?
It's a first ever slide instrument with a hide top. You glide with the left hand on the string, but the top of the instrument is made of hide that carries the ancient soul of 6 cultures: African, Latin American, American banjo, and then Korean gaegam, rabab, oud, and slide guitar. So it has the soundscape of mixed of the whole world, but it is so subtle, so sweet, so deep. And then I also created 4 different ragas. I have completed my own full life in 387 pages. I have written my autobiography till today.
Okay.
And then I have done some painting, started online digital concert by my own self to keep the music alive. Younger musicians need bread and butter.
Yes, indeed.
To feed them, giving them check, I started digital concerts.
You're a touring musician.
Yes.
So, you've got to be on the plane, you got to go, and you got to practice. So,
Absolutely.
So I've been talking to a lot of different musicians through the pandemic, and it's been interesting. Obviously, there's fear because your entire world is changing. But a lot of musicians were like, well, I'm going to write. I'm going to recalibrate.
Yeah.
Can you talk to that? Like, what was your mindset?
Yeah, it was first of all, in the pandemic, though my father was not a COVID victim, I lost my first guru and the best man in my life, my father, at the age of 91. He passed away on my 58th birthday. So that was a big break, and I became the elder of the family. And I have never been a good family man. I came to change my suitcases and travel to the other direction. But this time I really stayed with my children, my wife, my mom, my brother, sister, my rooftop garden, orchid, small little platters, and cooking, and teaching a lot online, finding interesting students. So it changed my life a lot. It only didn't gave me the wings. The wings I had a lot of time, but now it has given me a banyan tree to chill down and sit down underneath a banyan tree and work with different projects which I can.
What are you trying to say with the music that you're performing? What is the message that you're putting out?
Well, messages keep on changing because the world keep on changing, our life keeps on changing, our opportunities, our egos, our everything keep on changing. The message I have given previously, it is past. Today's message is the world is really freaked out.
Yeah.
We sing and listen our singing. 2 seconds we can forget all the curses and sins we are going through. So music is now more important to have faith and peace in humanity. So that is today's message.
I find that when I listen to your music, and this happens with a few artists, but especially with you, people could be from different parts of the world. They might not understand the same language. They probably don't know much about Indian music, Indian culture, but something about the way you play connects people, connects them in the audience, connects them to something that is ancient. You know, obviously Indian culture is one of the first cultures. And I'm always curious, is like, as an artist such as yourself that has traveled, that has worked with other musicians, you're presenting your culture to the world at large. And I'm wondering what is that, how did that feel the first time that you started to play with somebody and you realized that your two musical languages could work together?
Every moment on stage, you create a passage so that you can reach immediately with a surprise, your message to you can connect the cultures. You need to make a pipeline to connect the cultures because audience comes from different cultures. My culture is different. You cannot just push or throw. You cannot just make million times hit by TRP, by advertising your culture. On stage it is not advertising, it is immediate. How you can let them feel, how you can let them just get the image. I'm just telling you a small little story in this context. Few years ago, I was playing for United Nations in Brussels for a small concert. So I finished playing the concert with my brother on tabla and a tanpura player. And then I don't know, a Russian young lady with a jacket came just close on stage and he said, "Mr. Bhattacharya, I just saw the Lord Krishna and Radha was having dance. Your both hands were making love of Lord Krishna and Radha on the slide." So this is only one instance, there are hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't need to learn alphabets of the music or grammar of the music. If you can transport your expression through your culture, you have to teleport immediately your culture to them.
You write that through music.
And then let them come into your culture.
Mm-hmm.
In the opposite, teleporting back them into your culture.
India is an ancient culture. Musicians have played a really important role in that culture throughout history. So there's something about the musicians being able to, as you say, teleport or transfer that culture out.
Yeah.
But I'm always curious, is like, what is it about Indian culture from your perspective that allows that kind of complexity of emotions to happen? It's not just, I'm just happy, I'm just sad. They're going through a cycle. And so if you could speak to that, I would really appreciate
Okay,
that.
that is fantastic question. In answer to this question, I must say that, first of all, we need to just discuss a little bit about analog and modal music.
Okay.
How analog and modal music is related. When you digitize, you break one line into millions of pieces. But in analog, it is all one line.
Okay.
In Indian music, our music is modal music. We don't have chords or 4 instruments are playing in one beat. No. It is only one line being played in one beat. It can be accompanied by tabla or other instrument, but there is no harmony or chord underneath the music. So our staccatos on the strikes and the gliding ratio is gliding is more than staccatos. In Western music, gliding is less, staccatos are more. Individual notes identity in Western music is huge, whereas in Indian music, the flow between 2 notes makes music.
Oh, okay.
So here comes the difference between the 2 cultures, Western and Eastern. In Eastern, the culture says together we are one. In Western, individual success is more important. Everybody lives in an apartment. In a huge building, nobody knows what's happening to the next door.
Mm-hmm.
In Indian old culture, it was said Sanatan. Sanatan means for everybody, for universe. So the universal truth and faith was very important in Indian music. So when you say what is the cultural thing we carry with us is modal, semi-diatonic, microtonal, emotive music, which goes individual line from one to other. And the transit from one note to the other note is the full of expression. It talks about nature. It is the ultimate draw of nature. Like, movement of fish. How you can show in piano playing? Piano is staccato notes. You cannot show the diluting movement of the fish tail. You cannot show that. Because for piano it will be like this.
Mm-hmm.
So for that modal movement is part of the nature. In nature, when you see the leaves are hanging, leaf is hanging in the tree because it's still alive. If it was dead, it would have dropped, dried on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It is stuck with the branch because it's living. You see a stone on the beach, just lying dead. But you also see a stone on the beach which has gone moss. A seal comes out and sit and take the sun on it. So life and death, life, living object and non-living object is a progression in non-linear musical form. That is why it is Sanatan, it is universal. You don't need to know Sanskrit, Hindi, Bengali or Tamil or Telugu. You just listen to that music. If it is coming from the original Indian music, if it is not mixed, then you can actually feel in your heart, because that is music for everybody.
Debashish, thank you so much. That is
Thank you.
perfect.
God bless you, Darek.
Bless you too. Thank you.
And my love and wishes to the audience to this episode. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.